Yes, many thanks for staying with us, and we sincerely apologize for that long break that we had to take. So, moving on. Before we get into the inflationary measures in the entire globe, let's have a conversation with what's happening back home here in Nigeria, where the Nigerian stock market hits 64 trillion cap. Yes, 64 trillion naira cap. The Nigerian stock market, tracked by the All-Share Index, ended the trading day on January the 9th, 2025, with a significant gain of 1,300.01 points, closing at a record high of 105,530.74 points. This robust performance not only broken past the 105,000 barrier, but also marked a 1.25% increase from the previous day's 104,230.73 points, dismantling the resistance level of 104,562 that was held since the month of March 2024. However, despite this bullish price action, trading volume fell sharply, declining by 23.4%. The number of shares exchanged dropped from 639 million to the day before to 489 million in this same occasion. Fueled by increase in price, market capitalization climbed to 64.3 trillion naira over 13,000 transactions that was transacted in the previous market day. A significant uptick from the 63.5 trillion naira recorded in the prior trading section. Looking at all of this trajectory now of the bullish trend that the Nigerian stock market have noticed, the market summary for yesterday and then opening also for today shows that the market opened at 105,530.74 points. Previous ASI showed 104,230.73 points. They change was at plus 1.25% year to date. Performance was at plus 2.53%. Volume traded was at 489 million shares, and then of course the market capitalization was at 64.3 trillion naira. Looking at it now, the market outlook, the All-Share Index has surpassed the 105,000 point mark, beyond by the strong bullish sentiment despite the drop in the market volume. With positive momentum in the mid and the large cap stocks, the index may also soon set its sights on challenging the 106,000 points barrier, which is one of the major projections for the year. Like I already mentioned to you guys earlier, that projection for this year in the All-Share Index has been projected to hit up to 150,000 points. So if this bullish trend does continue like this, there is a high chance that we will be able to witness this, because this growth that we've witnessed has actually been coming on a daily, right from 90,000 points. Now, a month down the line, we're hitting over 105, so now chasing 106,000 points. So with all of the trajectories going on and this bullish momentum being noticed, we are hoping to see that we will be able to hit that mark before December or by December 2025. So moving away from the Nigerian stock market, let's have a conversation around the Nigerian inflation, where it's expected to settle at 27.1% by the end of December 2025, against what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said in his budget, that the inflation is expected to hit or be capped out to 15%. So, and the main aim that is going to help all of these figures being neutralized is if the naira gets stabilized, and as well as if the cost of food items majorly gets to depreciate from its current prices, as well as also transportation. With that being said, Business Conference Monitor report says projected that Nigeria's inflation rate will decline to 27.1% by December 2024, providing a glimmer of hope for businesses and consumers grappling with persistent economic challenges. this focus reflects a cautious optimism about the gradual stabilization of Nigeria's economy as structural reform begins to take effect despite ongoing headwinds. Inflation has been a persistent challenge for Nigeria's economy, with rising fuel prices and currency depreciation driving up costs across all sectors. The report noted that inflationary pressures are particularly pronounced in the year 2024 following the removal of fuel subsidy and liberalization of the foreign exchange markets. However, it projects a gradual ease of inflation pressure in the year 2025. The report forecasts that the headline inflation will remain elevated during the first 9 months of the year, with decline significantly in the fourth quarter of the month. With the easing of inflation, it is all expected to influence monetary policies. The Central Bank of Nigeria, as Monetary Policy Committee, may adopt a more accommodative stance in the late 2025, particularly lowering interest rates to stimulate economic activities that will shift mark to depart from the current tightened monetary policy regime aimed at controlling inflation. Aside controlling inflation, the high rate of interest rate also needs to be cut down by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the monetary team, and also to lessen the burden on tightening the current currency Nigeria is having, so as to help businesses, SMEs, to be able to have enough borrowing power, just like SEC says in their report a few hours ago, that they are having avenues to be able to influence government and corporate borrowing. So when all of this does happen, we will tend to see a high level of income, and again SMEs being able to transact businesses, and then purchasing power of Nigerians would also increase. Moving away from Nigeria, let's get into Ghana, where we are having Nigeria's inflation surge. Ghana's inflation surge for the fourth straight month. Ghana's inflation kept going up in December, making the fourth month in a row of increase according to official statistics. Office consumers inflation rose for a fourth month in a row in the month of December to 23.8% year on year from 23.0% in November. The government's statistics report says the high rate of inflation is the third highest in the last 13 months and highest in the last 8 months. The government says the high cost of food items is the main reason for the rise of its country's inflation. Ghana, which makes money from selling gold and cocoa, is having a really tough time with its economy, given the fact of the current surge of the global crisis going on. Export has not been so forthcoming within those regions, and then it has impacted negatively on its economy, rising from 23% to 23.8% in the month of November. All of these are being driven by, insurgents, and then the lack of patronage that comes from the diaspora and the other international communities. Moving away from Ghana, Colombia also overshoots inflation target for the fourth straight year. Colombia inflation exceeded expectation in the month of December, overshooting the central bank's target range for a fourth straight year. The consumer price rose by 5.2% in the year 2024. The Statistics Energy says that the unchanged happened from the month of November and compares to the median forecast of 5.16% from 22 economic survey by Bloomberg. Colombia targets inflation of 3% plus or minus 1% percentage points, one measure of core inflation which excluded volatile food price, slower to 5.65%. Price rose from 0.4 to 6% from the previous month, and the central bank also expected slow the pace of the monetary easing last month, costing its key interest rate by a quarter percentage point to 9.5%. This decision surprised analysts who had expected a more aggressive cut. 5 of 7 members of the Monetary Policy Committee argued that tightened financial condition and uncertainty regarding to the government's fiscal position requires a cautious approach to monetary policies. Finance Minister Diego Guevara orders on board members advocated for a more aggressive cuts. Policymakers are also weighing the impact of the government's 9.5% minimum wage increase this year, which will affect labor costs as well as the price of some services, including healthcare, food, and basic household needs. The central bank is scheduled to hold its next monetary policy meeting on the 31st of January. That could be the last meeting for some board members, as the constitution permits President Gustavo Petro to replace two policymakers, and Lefter's leader and finance chief have called for faster interest rate cuts to boost economic growth. So production and cutting of interest rate is also one of the key reasons that can draw in driving more investors into a nation's economy, as well as help the growth of that said economy. That's how much time will permit us to take. Sadly, though, we have so much we need to discuss, but time is actually not being our friend right now. I'll see you again as we discuss more business. Bye for now.